I went for blood work. When you have a thyroid cancer, the way they do is they take blood work on every 3 months or so, and they want to look at your TSH levels, thyroid stimulating hormone levels. You look at your T4, T3 levels, T3 being active thyroid, and you look at something called thyroglobulin. Thyroglobulin is a protein that your thyroid gland would produce. Now, if you have no thyroid gland like I do, okay, and I'm taking replacement, you would expect to see the T4 levels and T3 levels be normal, right? Because you would assume that you want to make sure you're taking enough thyroid hormone, and TSH should be low. Because if you're taking enough thyroid hormone and your body's converting T4 to T3, the T3 suppresses your TSH, and it's like you're creating your own, replacement there. Thyroglobulin, however, should be essentially almost zero, because there should be no cells producing thyroglobulin, because they took out my thyroid, they gave me radioactive iodine to kill any remaining cells, because thyroid cancer cells will produce thyroglobulin too. My levels are almost zero, they're like 0.1. So I'm not at zero yet, which could mean they could stay like that forever, because sometimes there's some cells trapped in your lymph nodes or something like that that are just dormant in there, producing some thyroglobulin. It's a very small amount, obviously, so I'm hoping it eventually does go to zero. I'm at 200 micrograms per day of T4 now, which seems to be the ideal dosage to keep me at a good level of T4, T3, and to keep my thyroid or TSH levels suppressed. I go back 1 year after my surgery, this is in March, and what they do is they give you another very small dose of radioactive iodine, not something that you wouldn't even have to, isolate yourself from anyone with, and then they scan your body. So the radioactive iodine theoretically would incorporate into any tissues that might still be in my body. Now, obviously, if they took my thyroid gland out, there would be nothing here. They already ultrasounded my neck and there was nothing there. But if there's some like random spots in my body that might have some tissues, that would light up, so to speak. So that's the next thing I go through. I think once you get past that year and that 1 year scan and that's clear, you're pretty much, essentially, quote, cured. So that's the status on that. I'll find out, in March, after like a year after the surgery, where I'm at. But I feel good. Like I said, I've never felt bad during the whole process. It's interesting to see. I'm into hormones, and my friend obviously is my doctor, an endocrinologist. I know him from growing up with him. And, I can ask him, text him questions and stuff like that. And it's interesting, And the funny thing is when they give you the radioactive iodine, they give you a dose of a thyroid stimulating hormone, a synthetic thyroid stimulating hormone, because that pushes the iodine or the radioactive iodine into any tissues that might be present. Hopefully there won't be any present. And the great way it is, they put you under a scanner and they can see the radioactive iodine light up if it is any place that it shouldn't be. So that's where I'm at.